welcome to the Rum Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
It is Tuesday, November 15th. This is episode 99.
Oh, shit.
This is episode 99, the eve of our 100th episode. And it's the Thankful Cast, because we're off next week because it's Thanksgiving. So a little bit of whatever. Anyway,
99 dudes. Wait,
99. That doesn't really work. It's 99 said Loof balloons. So anyway, so we're gonna chat just a little bit about what we've been watching. Joe and I have a lot of therapy to get through. So we're going to start with our horror corner. We're going to move into streaming selections of the week, and then we will end on Nate's Marvel Minute, which will be probably a very girthy Black Panther Wakanda Forever love fest.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. But first, let's take a minute and have a moment of silence for the definitive voice of Batman that we lost, Mr. Kevin Conroy. Now, when I think of The Dark Knight, it's his voice that I hear. I read the comics. I played with the action figures when I was growing up, but I don't know that. Now, I'm trying to wonder if I saw the Tim Burton movie first or watched the animated series first. What came first? Was it the Burton movie?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. That being said, Kevin Conroy sounded what I always felt like Batman should sound like. While Keaton was a fantastic Batman, his Batman voice was still Michael Keaton. The animated Batman voice, that is Batman. And I don't think anyone has ever come close or will come close to sounding as good as Kevin Conroy did in that role.
Agreed. As a Burton Batman fangirl, yeah, the animated Batman voice nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Conroy started voicing in 92.
Okay.
With the animated series. And then obviously Batman with Keaton was 89.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
It's been that long. 89.
I know. Right.
I would have sworn that was in the 90s.
We're old.
Right.
We are old.
It's really nice that he got to play a live action version at the end there, in the whole, was it Crisis crossover, right? With the Flash and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Batwoman TV series, right? Yeah, that was where he was.
That's correct. Yeah, that's where it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like you, Andy, I've always been more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy, but the Batman animated series was a must watch every time it was on. And then more recently, I really got into a lot of I've always kind of watched the DC animation because it's always been really good. But then specifically, more recently, I went through a bunch of these really long kind of episodic events that spanned 5, 6, 7 animated movies, and had to go back and watch a bunch of stuff from like the early 2000s and then the mid 2010s to kind of get everything. And yeah, his voice is just ridiculous. And he was all the Arkham games too, right? Wasn't he Batman?
All the Arkham games. That's correct. Yeah.
Which were just, the best Batman games ever made.
I wish I would have made a note of it, but somebody wrote it out. I want to say it was 19 animated features, like 14 video games, and the one live action thing. So it was definitely, again, just an incredible career as the Dark Knight. And he's obviously he's done other voices, but he will be forever remembered as the definitive voice of Batman for
Yeah,
sure.
I just put the whole list in the chat, so we should definitely include a good, one of those really great like Batman with the bat signal images in our show notes.
Oh, sure.
With this list, because it's long and distinguished.
Yeah.
Yes,
appropriately long and distinguished. Yeah.
Right.
Batman Beyond was definitely one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, I mean, a huge loss for the voiceover community in general, but yeah, I mean, man, like I heard recently that James Earl Jones officially retired as Darth Vader because they're doing his voice completely with AI now.
Right.
I know that Troy Baker has sort of picked up the Dark Knight mantle in the more recent years too. But I think it would be it would almost be fitting if they could set up an AI to capture what Kevin Conroy captured. And
well, yeah, especially given the nature of the multiverse in DC and all the Flashpoint things, that would be great to have him. Yeah, especially in the animated stuff, to have a version of him that's permanent for that, whatever 612 or whatever world.
Right.
He's
absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So, and we can move on, but yeah, just, I mean, a huge thank you from all us nerds, Kevin Conroy. Man, you were Batman. You were absolutely Batman. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. With that, let's roll into the horror corner, Joe. What do you got for us?
So, on the news front, Crimes of the Future is streaming for free on Hulu. So please go watch that. I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting to give it my full attention. This is I've been waiting for this forever. It's Cronenberg's like body horror.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Viggo Mortensen, Kristen Stewart. It's gory and gross and sexy and weird, and I can't wait for it.
All right.
Vigo.
Vigo.
Mm-hmm.
All
so for free on Hulu, finally.
Nice. Okay.
I took Steve's advice and watched Come True.
Nice.
And please watch it. It is really, really good. It's creepy and weird, and the music is phenomenal, like you said. And the dream sequences, like, I wish I dreamed this way. I really do. It's great. And I'm not going to say more because I probably shouldn't. But definitely watch it. He was right in saying it was very, very good.
Which one was this again?
Come True. And it's on Hulu, streaming for free too.
Nice.
So next, this is where I think Andy, side kittens. Are we talking
any horror stuff? We got to give it a side kitten.
We got to give it a side kitten.
Out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7 side kittens, just because it's not gory. It's creepy and weird, and
cool. I'm gonna mark that down.
But it's good. Like, I honestly, Nate, you should watch this one. You really should.
Okay.
On that front, I think the next 3 I have are going to kind of side into Andy's bit a little. So, Smile was just released on Paramount Plus, and both Andy and I were able to watch it. Andy, stop doing the creepy smile.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the... I liked it, but I didn't. There were certain aspects of it where I was like, oh, I don't know.
Right. No, I agree. So, this was interesting, and this is an interesting horror take, because it's one of those not necessarily evident of what's going on, and only really impacting one person. That being said, I think the lead actress nailed it in terms of trying to convince everyone she's not crazy when she's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I was on that journey. Like I was I was with her. I felt bad. And then but the resolution of the movie, if you want to call it that, either, like I said, and I was thinking about it too, because sometimes horror movies start sort of in the middle of a weird thing going on, or a murder spree or something, and we get caught up in it. And that happened here, right?
Yeah.
And typically horror movies are the outlier to the norm of how these go. This didn't necessarily do that, which I wonder if there's more story that we're going to get later. Is there going to be a smile too? A smile more, smile bigger, whatever,
Extra smile. The smiling.
Right. Yeah. So that was the weird thing for me, was the end of the movie, where, okay, like there was very little resolution in terms of, like, and not to get too spoilery, but she has that moment where she sort of owns up to pain that she's been holding on to forever, right? I thought that was going to be sort of the tide turner in terms of her voyage, right?
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen, which was weird. Because usually you level up, right? You have that thing that gives you strength. You have that thing that gives you the armor that you need to get through that part. And I thought that
and
was
you
it.
become the final girl.
Right. Exactly. And so yeah, I thought it was a weird choice to end it how they end it. I wonder if there's alternate endings.
I'd be interested to see. Because
Yeah.
like my whole thing with it is again, it's why did you do that?
Right.
You shouldn't have done that. Why didn't you know she was going to do that? You should have known she was going to do that. It's just kind of like, and again, trying not to spoilery it, but
yeah. Well,
there's a lot of times where
I talked about where it's like horror movies don't have people that watch horror movies in them.
Right. Well, and
this one was different. They all watched horror movies. They didn't know how doctors work.
Right. Well, but all right, but the two people at the end knew the process.
Yeah.
He had a very, very simple task.
Right.
In that moment.
You had one job, dude. One job.
A very simple task. And dude, okay. Again, I've never been in that moment. Right? And for people who have seen the movie, I'm guessing you haven't been in that moment either. Can I tell you for certain how I'm going to act, even if I know what to do? I can't.
Well, and see, here's the thing. Here's my thing. Yeah. I'm going to take that back to like probably a quarter of the way through the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She should have known what to do. Didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like she could have. And here's the thing: there wouldn't be a movie then. There wouldn't be a movie. We, get that. But I'm like, you have the answer in your hand at the beginning of the movie, and you didn't do it.
Right. I did appreciate the fake out in the middle, towards the end of her going back in the hospital, because of everything that had been going on. I really enjoyed that sort of fake out. I thought that was really good. So, but yeah, there were just some interesting choices here. Interesting choices that they made. this is again. I think for the journey that it took me on, I'm gonna say, but to sort of fumble the ending, I'm gonna say it's a six side kittens. Like I was there, I was into it for I was into it for the ride, but then toward the end, it was like, man, that they could have done that better. So,
and I will say, in this one, the viral marketing was to its detriment.
Agreed.
In my
absolutely
opinion.
Yes.
Like, come on, man.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
There needs to be more smiling and smile. I'm just going to put it that way.
Exactly. But again, nice to see Kal Penn coming back.
And Kal Penn coming back in a double way because
American
he's
Horror
in
Story.
American Horror Story.
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, Kal Penn, yay, again.
Yeah. So yeah. No, I'm right there with you, Joe. So all right. There you go.
What next? Midnight Club.
Oh man.
That was very intense.
Flanagan did it again.
Yeah.
He nailed it. I thought it was going to be hard to come off of Midnight Mass and do something equally interesting and something that I would get invested in as much as I did. Let me just tell you, Jamie and I rarely burn through shows as quick as we did Midnight Club. We started it Saturday night and finished it last night. And we don't have a whole lot of free time. We stayed up late to finish it.
It was entirely worth it.
Absolutely. Incredible Final Girl callback to the original Final Girl from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right?
Heather
Langenkamp.
Yeah, coming in and throwing us for a veritable curveball towards the end with that reveal.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this, Joe, with and again, there's so much to unpack with Midnight Club, and I really love the story aspect of the show and the fact that the actors from the show were the stars of their own stories, obviously, because if you tell a story, you're kind of the star of your own story as well.
And the stories kind of portrayed their own issues and they worked through it with the stories.
Right. Absolutely. And so I totally love that part of it. And then just the overall story of everything around that house and what was there before and to what's now. And it's just, I thought it was incredible. Now, does that, I'm assuming that there's more source material there for how it ended. Will there be a Midnight Club 2?
I think there will be. I think I've heard whispers of Flanagan wants to do, I think, 3 seasons of this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
that's cool.
Fact check me if you want to, but I think I saw that on either a Twitter or a Tumblr thing from him.
Okay.
That he wants to continue this.
Yeah.
And it was definitely left open. And
no, I agree. Well, if they don't, if that's it and it doesn't come back, I'm gonna be upset.
I'm gonna be pissed.
I need more story. I need more story here. I need. Nate, I'm assuming you haven't gotten into this yet. If you, dude, this is a great watch. It really is.
Every time you say Midnight Club, I think of the racing game from, I want to say it was Xbox maybe back in the day.
Yeah. Sure.
360.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had high hopes for this after the trailer. Again, the use of Possum Kingdom in a trailer is
the music in this is freaking phenomenal. Oh my god! If you love '90s music at all, or just the '90s at all, just watch this show. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
The clothes, the music, they nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, but all of the kids, I think were just incredible, like incredibly cast. Like I said, I was on the journeys with them, and so I think they did. It was just written incredibly well. Like I said, man, Flanagan nailed it again. Yeah, it's just he's
just
good.
Watch
He's
everything
good.
that man makes. Seriously, just
Exactly.
watch it all. It's all good.
Yes. Even those TikToks. Who knew he was so active on TikTok? My goodness.
Hey, let's give my man Rahul Kohli a little bit of love there.
Horrific karaoke. Oh my god. Is he
Horrific,
intentionally
really?
that bad? Or is that like, I guess you don't have to sing with a face like that, you know?
Right. So but yeah, that was it was incredible. I enjoyed it. It again, like I said, we rarely burn through shows that quick. And man, that was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Ripped
What else you got, Joe?
Finally, Interview with the Vampire.
Oh,
I haven't watched it yet, and I want to. Don't spoil it, please don't.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try my hardest not to spoil it. So
you were very anti at the beginning, and it sounds like
so
you've come around.
You've seen the movie, right?
Of course, I love the movie.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out what I can spoil and what I can't.
Well, so I think the movie was overall a success. Everybody, I think, really liked the movie based on sort of star power, and like it told a really great story. And I think it brought out some of the better parts of the book. And again, while the casting wasn't necessarily dead on, the actors who came into those roles really did their best to sort of bring out those characters and make them their own. Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine a retelling of that story with other actors in that role. So what they smartly did here was update the story in a way where it's not disrespectful to the source material, but very much gives it its own spin on the material, but keeping the essences of the characters intact. That's how I get it. Joe, how did you see it?
That's pretty much exactly how I got it. I was a little curmudgeon-y in the beginning because I was holding on to my own, like...
Not my goddamn man.
Not my Louis. Not my Louis. But after watching it, I think it's they did good by the books, they did good by the movie, and they made it their own. And Lestat is perfect. Better than the movie. Perfect. Wow. Like, please make the vampire Lestat the next season. Please. I need more Lestat in my life.
This was the role that Sam Reed was born to play.
Oh my god!
I do not know that we will be able to see him as anything other than Lestat if they do the vampire Lestat after this. I mean, they went through the top. They went okay. Now I know that Mayfair Witches is coming out, but they went through the trouble of making their own flashy little immortal universe, little thing before
their Marvel logo for Immortal Universe.
Right.
Now again, like my issue with that is that should be on the second series. It shouldn't be on the first, right? But I have a feeling they knew that they had sort of a winner here, that they were just going to roll with it and make it. I mean, and make what they can with what they have. But yeah, as long as Sam Reed is still looks like he looks, like, yeah, get that, like, start filming now, get it in there, because man, that guy is Lestat to a T.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah.
That and Daniel, like,
oh man,
he's so good. And the fact that they fleshed out that character as much as they did.
Yes.
Because, like, he in the books, he's a boy. He's, like, just a blip. They
right.
really fleshed him out, and that's going to do them service if they do the rest of the books, because then Daniel becomes more of a bigger character in the other books. So,
right. Yeah.
and he just, like, his snarkiness, and like, I could watch him and Louis banter forever.
Right. Yeah.
Like, just give me him and Louis bantering in the present time, and Lestat and Claudia in New Orleans, and I'll watch it forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one of the things I was worried about too when they announced that they were going to do this. Again, was Claudia and how she would come. All right. And then again, the actress they got. I thought the essence of that character is just I mean, very few shows cast it right and get it right. But man, this cast
Yeah.
is near perfect. Near perfect. So,
Yep. And
yeah.
just there's so much meat to this. It's like so like the music and the sets and the costumes and the actors and everything. It's just all I can say is it's meaty.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
more of it. I love it.
Yeah. No, I think, and again, the one problem, it's funny too, because as much as I love movies and as much as I love watching movies too, especially movies based on source material that we all love, sometimes it, and Nate, we have record of you shouting outside the Concord streets out of Ready Player One, saying, "What was that?" But and that's the problem with you know, you can't necessarily make a 3-hour movie and make it profitable and everything. And I think that's where
bullshit.
Well,
come on now.
Sometimes you can, you know, and like Lord of the Rings is sort of the rare exception to that rule, where you can have super long movies and make them interesting and they work within the source material, right?
Endgame worked pretty well. I guess it's not really the source material, but
right.
Yeah.
So, however, interview needed. What did we get? 8 episodes? 10 episodes? 8 episodes? Yeah,
8 episodes. So
interview
8.
needed 8. Yeah, we needed 8 hours to get through, and we're not even.
And
We're not even in Europe yet. Like we're not even there yet. Like that's the best part of this.
It's like I don't think it's even halfway through.
No, it's not. But I think it was, again, it was paced out really well. It never felt like it was too, because there's a ton of exposition obviously going on, because the crux of this is the interview, right? The actual interview. And you're getting a lot of it. And man, Jacob Anderson, so good as Louis. And to make this as interesting as it is, and to reveal as much as they reveal, but to hold back at some point, right? The way that they revealed things was very clever, I thought, through Claudia's diaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through other ways, right? Through the dinner selection when they're at dinner and Louis doing his thing. Like it was just, I mean, really, really smart. And so, yeah, this is just, man, like absolute home run. I'm excited. I'm excited for more. I can't wait for more. So let's get season 2 of Interview, and yeah, man, start writing Vampire Lestat now.
For real.
Yeah.
That being said, I will make a little note of the end. There's a couple things where I'm like,
well,
I'm gonna see how they play this out. I have faith, given the whole 8 episodes that I've just watched, but the last one, I'm like, okay, we're gonna go there. All right.
Is this supposed to go for? Do we know?
Well, there's 2 for sure, but
yeah, it's a good question. We don't know yet. But I would assume that another season would wrap up Interview, and then they would roll directly into Vampire Lestat.
Vampire Lestat. Nice. Right on.
Yeah. That's my hope, at least. So yeah.
Super sweet.
But and Joe, I agree with you. The reveal at the end, I think how that's explained, I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some explanation here, because it's kind of, again, I'm 50-50 on it. I'm like,
yeah. So
yeah, but no, that's not how it happened.
Right. But and again, I think there's a lot of that, and that's not how this happened, but this is where this story is,
Yeah.
So, and again, for what they've been working with, the essences of those characters are still there. So however that reveal plays out, I think they've built up the credit that they can make it work, and hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. So
yeah. So I did come into this of like, fuck this show, they ruined it. No, I'm like, okay, I'm on board. I'm with you guys.
Right.
I have faith. This is gonna turn out all right.
Yeah, totally.
It's been all right so far.
Yeah.
If anything, I'll just watch Lestat over and over again and just
yeah.
Because this is the thing. The first movie, I fell in love with Louis. Fell so in love with Louis. As Brad Pitt as Louis was my end all be all. For this one, I'm like, oh, Lestat, I missed you. Like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, his introduction is done so well. And just, I mean, I don't know that a character introduction speaks so true to the character for as sort of short as that introduction was. It told you who Lestat was in those few minutes that he was introduced. So yeah, like, man, that guy, Sam Reed, just
sorry,
so
Tom
incredible.
Cruise, but
this guy was born to be Lestat.
And sorry, Stuart, what's his name?
Stuart Townsend. Yeah.
Stuart Townsend, yeah. Sorry, guys.
Right.
Sam Reed is and will be always Lestat. On that note, yeah, that's all the horror I have.
Okay. All right. No, good. That was meaty. I liked it. So let's move into streaming selection of the week. I don't have a whole lot here because I've been really just finishing up Interview with the Vampire and Midnight Club, burning through Midnight Club as fast as we could. So those two are definitely high up on the list if you haven't started those yet. But there's also a great Amazon Prime show called The Peripheral that is out. It's on a weekly release schedule. Chloe Grace Moretz is in it, and a very fun sci-fi futuristic thing. It's I don't want to spoil too much, because I would love it if you guys watch this and we could talk about it, because
definitely on my list.
Okay, yeah, it seemed to have a pretty good budget, so the sci-fi in there, the effects are really, really good, and I don't want to say too much, so just watch it. And next podcast on the 100th, if we don't decide to do something fun and gimmicky, we can talk about it down the road, because again, this is a weekly release schedule, so we can talk about it. What we have a few months or like a month and a half before it's done. So because I think it just released their 4th or 5th last Friday. Nice. And then and I should have started with this, but I saw this really great lower budget horror movie on Shudder called Revealer, and this is a very Night of the Comet
nice.
take on horror. Night of the Comet, by the way, is one of my favorite late 80s movies around this genre, and I just think it's done really well. And this is sort of the same. These two people are in the right spot at the right time during a celestial event that turns the rest of the population just nuts. And it is wonderfully low budget, and but like I think really, really well done. And it was a fun watch. It was a 90-minute like, you know, quick hit on Shudder, and it was really good. It's called Revealer. If you guys need something to watch and you've exhausted everything that you've watched and need to kill 90 minutes, check out Revealer, because yeah, right, because it's pretty good. I don't really have anything else to bring up. I know that we never discussed the season finale of House of the Dragon. And
really?
we passed. No, we didn't, because we passed over it with our horror cast.
Oh shit!
But man, with those last two episodes being what's happening in what's happening with the High Towers, and then the very last episode of what's happening on the Targaryen side.
Yeah, the How to Train Your House of the Dragon episode.
Right.
Oh my god.
Exactly. Right. Man, I don't know that that we're gonna see a first season of any show do what House of the Dragon did. In terms of just of scale, and in terms of generating sort of excitement for where it's going and what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I have to say the Lord of the Rings show is up there with that.
No, I
think it's
totally
only
agree
because
with
they
you.
spent all the money on both of those shows too to make it look as good as it could have.
No, I absolutely agree with you there.
Yeah.
So, but I think, like I said, if any show, like if any sort of franchise, being Game of Thrones, needed to nail a first season of a pickup show,
wash
like
the bad taste of the last several seasons of Game of Thrones out of your mouth, man.
Exactly right. And
well done.
Yeah, but I think that last episode was the season finale again of what's going on in Dragonstone, and just, oh man, just so incredible. And I mean, God, Matt Smith, man, it's just like I you know, like a few years ago, and I know that I said earlier that Sam Reed was born the playlist at, like, and a few years ago, if you asked me, like, Matt Smith was born to play Doctor Who, but man, he is proving me wrong with.
Yeah, he's way better in the genre, frankly.
Right.
I mean, he does have a lot to work with. Let's just leave it there. But man,
no,
he embodies this kind of quasi villainous, crazy, powerful character, you know, in a different way. I mean,
right.
The Doctor's pretty straightforward about who the Doctor is, but
yeah,
it's really good. I mean, just some of the and some of the little small things apparently, like, that weren't even scripted, like when the king was struggling to take the throne and drops the crown falls off, and then he picks it up and puts it back on him. That wasn't in the script. They just kept filming it. It was perfect. But a lot of his little mannerisms and looks and just quirks that I'm not really used to, because I didn't follow Matt Smith before this, really. I'm not a huge Doctor Who person at all. Really kind of fleshed out the character, and I just really appreciated what he brought to the role, to the point that I bought the book so I could actually read the source material for this stuff. So,
oh, nice!
I'm super excited. For it.
I also heard that the last scene, where he tells Rhaenyra what happens, there was dialogue there.
Oh, really?
And then after they shot the dialogue, he's like, well, what if it's silent?
Yeah.
Apparently he had the idea for
really
for the backs turned, and then the Rhaenyra's final turn to the camera.
Yeah, that was perfect. I couldn't imagine that with dialogue. So much better without it.
Right. And the another Matt Smith gem, when they're discussing the dragons and who has what dragons, and Matt Smith or Damon knows the location of every unclaimed dragon in the land. Like, I just thought that was incredible. And then the dragon scene towards the end. Well, first when they land in God, wherever the Baratheons are at this point,
The
right?
Storm's End there, right?
Yeah, Storm's End. That's right. And the little dragon sort of just in the courtyard. It's fine. Yeah. And then you just see
it's fine. Dragon. Everything's fine. And then the helicarrier that is.
Oh man, that was.
You wanted dragons, Nate? You got dragons in this one.
Well, right, but I mean, you see that happen, and how do you not just like, nope, get back on your dragon and leave? Like,
exactly,
nope,
right?
This is not.
Yeah,
there's no way this is gonna go well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's the gif of that little baby that comes out of the thing and then just turns right away.
Nope.
Or it's Homer going back in the
fitting back into the hedge maze. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But man, yeah, I can't wait for season 2, and that is just, oh man, it's so good. And I guess they've said that there's no more time jumps here, that it's this story moving forward. So
really,
yeah,
that's interesting because I heard that they were talking about potentially. So, God, where did I hear this? Now I'm trying to remember where I heard it. I think it might have been Dan Casey on the Nerdist channel. So the show is called House of the Dragon, right? Which means it's about the Targaryens. It doesn't mean it's about these Targaryens. So he's talking about, there was a rumor that potentially this could go on for X number, like crazy amount of seasons, and lead it all the way up to the events of Game of Thrones.
To the birth of Daenerys?
Yeah, to like grab all of the main events on the timeline of this family and flesh them out. And that's why there were rumors about, and I think that's why they were talking to Elizabeth Olsen and to Henry Cavill, because they could be other Targaryens in like this crazy line, because there are a lot of other Targaryens that happen between this event and then Game of Thrones that are insanely famous and all that. So,
right.
I really want that to happen. Like, I want there to be a couple seasons of these people, and then we jump. Then there's like 100-year jump or 200-year jump or something like that, and then you get a whole group of them and see them at the height of their power and all that. So I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
So interesting, because I heard no more time jumps and 4 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy either way.
Exactly.
I'm not going to complain about more dragons in Game of Thrones. Okay? It's really good.
That's right. Yeah. And my final streaming selection of the week is, we haven't talked about season 6 yet, but I finally caught up on season 6, Rick and Morty. Have you guys watched it all?
No, I haven't. I think I haven't seen any of it.
I just want to tell you, there's the Die Hard episode.
No, just
gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
The Die Hard episode.
Yep.
The Die Hard episode.
I don't think
I haven't seen it yet, but okay, you just clued me in on which. Because I was like, season 6. Which one is that?
I don't think I have access to this. This is on.
It's on Adult Swim. So if you have Adult Swim on your cable package, you get all of Rick and Morty.
I do not have cable, so
okay. Well,
figure it out.
Let's discuss, Nate.
Yes.
We'll discuss.
Yes. Take it offline.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's it. That's it for streaming service selections of the week. Nate, bring it on.
Yeah. So just a quick aside. I think I touched on this already. That I actually took. Oh, go ahead. Do it.
Okay. So two. And Nate, I think we talked about this briefly. Tales of the Jedi from Disney Plus.
Yep, that was part of it.
My goodness. So
it was really good.
Joe, I don't know that you probably haven't watched this yet. So there are 6.
It's right up your alley, man.
So six animated shorts. Tales of the Jedi. 3 follow Ahsoka, and 3 follow a younger Count Dooku.
Young Count Dooku, yeah.
Ooh.
And we have
before he turns.
We have cameos from Mace Windu. We have cameos from Qui-Gon Jinn, young Qui-Gon Jinn, and old Qui-Gon Jinn,
and Yaddle.
Oh man, I was gonna say I've heard the Yaddle news.
Yeah.
And dude, it's fascinating.
It's so well done too, and you could consume it all in under 90 minutes. Like it's maybe less than that because they're short.
Okay. Because Ken and I got started on Andor. So we're about 3 episodes in on Andor.
Oh God, yes. It keeps getting better. Just make sure you give it a chance. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's and that's my next bring up was going to be Andor, because we've forgotten to mention this. I think just because there's been so much else going on with us. But yeah,
but let's not spoil anything, because Joe is only 3
I don't. So. But yeah, to Nate's point, hang in there. Yeah. What is building up will definitely get paid off. Yep. And we're not even done yet.
And we're not done.
There's still still more to go. But you know, I think I think it was smart, and it was weird when they announced this show too, that it's like, do we really need to see this character's arc, because we know what happens to him in Rogue One,
right?
Like, you know, but
the answer is yes.
I did not realize that his journey was going to be as fascinating as it has turned out to be.
Right.
This paints such a wonderfully, it paints the best picture of how awful the Empire is versus what they do to the people in the galaxy.
And what it takes to start a rebellion against said empire. Like, it's not shiny, happy, you know, holding hands and fucking thoughts and prayers. It's gritty, dark shit that you have to do.
Yeah. Andy Serkis, great. I guess not necessarily a cameo arc. Like, this is a legit, you know, like part of the show when
that's what I was
during
saying.
this arc
talk about it unless it has
no, and I'm not going to say anything else.
Well, I know Andy Serkis is in it. Come on.
Okay, there you go. Well, I'm making sure. I don't know how much you saw.
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård.
I'm still on the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Holy shit! Stellan Skarsgård gives a one-shot speech that is the best group of dialogue in pretty much any Star Wars thing ever. It's
better than General Hux's speech.
Yeah.
Yes. Man.
You knew that was coming. You knew
that
was
coming. So Andor has been I think a really, really pleasant and incredible watch. It was way better than I thought it was ever going to be.
100%.
It's bringing so much to the table again, and explaining who the Empire is, what they are to the people, and what the rebellion did to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is literally like the grassroots of the rebellion. And
season 2 confirmed, by the way. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so excited for it.
And even the Senate sequences speak volumes. And like, oh, hey, we're going to give you some of the Galactic Senate here. And there've been quick little hitters, but man, they have speak volumes here. So
yeah, and the show is not action packed in itself. The action that they do throw at you is great, and there are no wasted scenes. It's very tight. Even when it seems slow, it's purposeful and it's building tension or giving you some great backstory. And the supporting cast in the show is just fantastic. I mean, from top to bottom. So I already mentioned Skarsgård. I mean, obviously he's a fucking legend. But a lot of the smaller bit players are just, everyone's great in this. So, and we talked about this before. I love that it starts in a brothel.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Who thought a Disney Plus show would start here? Right? Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, so thank you for reminding me of both of those.
Cheers. Yeah, so I've got a couple. I think I mentioned this before, but I took Annie through the whole Vox Machina thing. We finished that.
That's correct. Yes.
Really great. She loves it, and super excited for the new season coming out in January. Titans is back on HBO. And it's really good. I'm only a couple episodes in, but we get Lex Luthor and Titans now. Yeah, dude.
That's right. It started. Yes.
Yeah, Lex Luthor and a bunch of other shit happening. Like, oh, what the fuck is that? Oh my god. Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy shit. So I got to catch up. I'm a few behind now, but I think I'm 3 episodes into that. The Dragon Prince returned on Netflix. I'm not sure if you guys watched this. really great animated series on Netflix. So,
Okay.
God, I'm trying to think. It's basically the closest you could get to like a cool D&D type thing, high magic and dragons and elves and stuff like that before Vox Machina came along.
Okay.
Really great animation. It's completely acceptable for kids. Eddie's watched it all, but it's also really a great story, and the animation's fantastic. The dragons are cool as fuck, and just in general, it's a great show. So Dragon Prince on Netflix. If you guys have a chance to watch that, check it out. Funny enough, Zootopia has a Disney Plus show, a series. I had no idea. Like, so the movie was great, but now there's a series of shorts that go along with it that are just hilarious. I forgot how much fun that world is. And so they built out the world even more, and that's been fun to watch with Addie. I watched this today. So Marvel does a bunch of assembled stuff now with all of their newer properties. They'll
that's right.
Making of. Yeah. So the making of She-Hulk, fucking watch it. It's really good. Like if you're done with the series, it's 50 minutes, and it's amazing behind the scenes stuff, and they're just laughing their asses off the whole time. So it's great. Let's see. Future looking Willow at the end of the month. November 30th. That's correct. On Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So they just dropped some new trailers and updated imaging for that series. That looks amazing, and I can't wait for that. And then I guess not streaming service, but not MCU news. I've been playing God of War Ragnarok.
Nice.
It's really good. It's not Game of the Year material. It was just nominated at the Game Awards. Along with something like Elden Ring, which is a completely new IP and just one of the best games I've ever played. That game is like hands down the best game I've ever played, and definitely Game of the Year. I'm not very far into Ragnarok right now, and I'm sure the story is going to be amazing, but it is a sequel. It's not breaking a lot of new ground with the gameplay mechanics or any of that happened in the last one. So I would be, if Elden Ring loses to Ragnarok, then that thing is fucking rigged. Okay, I don't care how good the story is. Just the Elden Ring as it is, the gameplay and everything that you get off of that game is just fucking chef's kiss. So we'll see what happens with that. I got to put some more hours into that guy. But yeah, that's what I got for the little lamprey on your portion there.
I don't know if you guys watched the first season of this, but another Netflix show that just came out with its second season is Warrior Nun. Did you guys watch this?
Yes. Oh, I forgot that came out.
Yeah, so the second season just dropped on Netflix. So yeah, that's going to be something that we we watch.
Hang on, I gotta add that to watch this page here.
Weird. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that when I was looking through Netflix the other day. I was like, oh wait, at the back there's more? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Nate, we're ready.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. I can't do the Black Panther sounds, and I don't want to do that because that would be terrible. But fuck, Wakanda Forever is so goddamn good. I had so much fun. It was really just an amazing evening overall. I got to meet Addie's older boys. Shout out Jack and Charlie.
Nice.
And so Annie and her two boys, or two of her three boys, and then I took Addie and her best friend Megan, and we all went and had mod pizza, and then went and saw Wakanda Forever. I haven't seen that theater this packed since Star Wars The Force Awakens. It was insane, and the box office showed it.
Yeah, what, 180 mil?
Biggest November opening ever across all genres. So $181 million for that was just domestically. Worldwide, $330 million in a weekend.
Oof.
And this is off of a $250 million production budget, which makes it the most expensive movie featuring a black lead.
Oh, wow.
And taking the title from 2012's Men in Black 3, which was $215 million, and the original Black Panther, which was $200 million, in third place. So, yeah, fuck. They made all of their money and then some in the first weekend.
Yeah.
So, man, I've got so much to say about this movie. I'm trying to think of the best way to go through this. It was really, really just an amazing epic of a superhero movie that moved the story of Wakanda and the MCU forward in just a fantastic fashion while paying tribute to the fallen king and Chadwick Boseman. They spent a lot of time on that. You could tell this movie was
That's
about
good.
grief and loss and what you do with that and how you redirect that energy. Tenoch Huerta as Namor fucking destroys his role. He absolutely nails it. Yeah, the way they turned that whole origin story on its head, where it was Atlantis, like in the comic books. They wanted to obviously differentiate themselves from the DC universe with Atlantis, so they basically rewrote it as a Maya, like a Mayan rooted culture of Talocan, where it's basically in the middle of the Atlantic, I think. I'm trying to think exactly where it ends up. But it's basically the whole culture is rooted in like Mayan and Incan lore and that kind of thing. So you get all of the amazing imagery and like the body jewelry and that kind of thing. And his character, he absolutely nails it. There's like heart to the character, but also like this menace to the character. Apparently he's been alive for 500 years ish.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like this isn't really spoiling anything, but the whole way that the underwater people kind of come to exist is they're showing a bunch of flashbacks of the Spanish conquistadors basically raping and pillaging across the Yucatan Peninsula and Mesoamerica, and everyone gets smallpox, right? We know all in the story about the smallpox blankets and everything.
Right.
And in order to save their people, there's this legend of this I'm trying to remember what they call it there. Basically, you find out that there's other vibranium sources other than Wakanda. So when the meteor hit Wakanda, there were splinters, which is what happens when a meteor hits the atmosphere. Splinters of that meteorite fell into the ocean. And so instead of like the heart-shaped herb that gives the Black Panther its powers, you have a different kind of like a seaweed or something like that was said to have restorative properties, etc. And the whole tribe is basically dying of smallpox, and so they go through this whole thing where they find the plant and they grind it up and they all drink it, but one of the people who drinks it is a pregnant woman, and it mutates her baby into Namor, and so he comes out with the wings on his feet and all that. So that happened
foot feathers.
back.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. But that means that there's been mutants in the MCU for 500 years, at least 500 years. So there's a bunch of there's so many great kind of just moments in this movie that I don't really want to spoil because you really need to see them. It's not really spoilers at all.
Sure.
So I'm trying to remember the name of the actress who plays Riri Williams, who's Ironheart in this movie. Basically, she's a super smart MIT student that develops kind of she develops a technology to detect vibranium underwater, and the government steals her project basically from MIT to create a machine to find vibranium underwater. Lake Bell makes an appearance in this movie, which was really surprising. Like,
nice.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. I haven't seen her in a bit. Joe, you'll absolutely love what they do with the underwater creatures. Like they have such a great rapport with, there's killer whales all over this movie, which is amazing, right? But they use them in such a great way, like the Talocans or whatever we're calling the race. They use them to basically fling the troops from the water onto the land with the tails of the orca.
Oh, no way.
And the whales, and so it was fucking great. But the way that they mix these two cultures and show you like the culture behind both of these two superpowers basically in the world, and then what happens when after T'Challa had revealed to the world that they have vibranium and they're this super powerful nation, and he wanted to reach out. What happens when all of these other countries like the United States and France and all these other members of NATO want this vibranium for themselves? So there's like a bunch of side back action happening where
Okay.
I really don't want to give this stuff away because it's like the reveal of some of these things really kind of blows your mind. But the main call out is like Angela Bassett is gonna at least get nominated, if not win an award, for her performance in this movie. She is like just fierce, and we couldn't stop staring at her shoulders. Like she's fucking ripped and like just this imposing presence, even in the middle of the UN. And some of the speeches that she gives in this movie are just insanely moving. I mean, I cried several times. I'm a big crier, but the whole theater. So something that noteworthy with this movie is that I've been to a lot of Marvel premieres, specifically at this theater, and they're always very loud. People are very into it. It's part of the experience. It's why you go opening night, right? They did such a great job at celebrating the life of Chadwick Boseman and the character in this movie. They basically recreate his death in the movie. He's dying of a mysterious disease, and they're trying to save him. And spoiler alert, they can't, obviously. And they do such a great job with like the funeral and the celebration of his life, and showing you what the culture does with honoring the dead, and what happens with the family, and how they move forward, and then where the threats are coming from. The movie is done so well, and they interweave these two cultures that are basically like me against the world type cultures at this point, because they both have vibranium and everybody else wants it. So it's definitely worth seeing in the theater if you can. Apparently it's also in 3D, which would not be lost on this movie. It would be worth seeing it in 3D, but if you can see it in IMAX while it's still in IMAX, apparently it's supposed to run for 45 days in theaters. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. Go see it on a $5 Tuesday in Martinez, Jobin, or something. I will go see this movie again in a heartbeat. I can't wait to see it again. So sorry, this is getting a little long-winded, but I love this movie. Obviously it's amazing. It's almost better than the first one. That's how much I love this movie, and the first one is fantastic. So yeah, that being said, it's all the things. They did such a great job. I've heard a lot of complaints about this movie, like it's too long and they spent too much time on T'Challa's death and all that, which is just like, I can't understand how much the loss of Chadwick Boseman and this character meant to nerds that don't look like me. Right. How much how impactful the first movie was to a whole group of people that have been underrepresented, and then to lose that person, and then to see how they honor him in this movie is just moving beyond words, and I can't even imagine it. So it's amazing. Go see it. What else do I have about this? So we talked about the mutants existing longer than we thought, 450 to 500 years according to the timeline there. They're already developing multiple spinoffs. We've got a show coming up next year, which is also directed by Ryan Coogler for Ironheart. So Riri Williams' character gets her own spinoff, and they're also doing an Okoye spinoff with Denai. So
cool.
Her character in this movie too. Holy fuck. Like if anyone could get close to Angela Bassett's performance, it's her in this movie, which is huge if you're aware of everything that goes on there. So that's my quick Black Panther, not quick. That's my unironically fast Black Panther review. Fucking go see it. It's worth it. Let's see. I had a Black Panther block. That's done. Marvel Studios' first R-rated live action show reportedly to drop in 2024, and that'll be Daredevil Born Again. So that's still something that's been kicking around. People are talking about it because it's huge. It looks like Spider-Man 4 gets kind of teased as far as its more grounded storyline, and there's a bunch of stuff that's going to happen. They're basically Peter dealing with his lost identity. He's going to be in college at that point. There's going to be like the whole Help Wanted Daily Bugle photographer thing, so we're going to get to see him actually do the whole J. Jonah Jameson interaction at providing photos, which will be cool. I'm sure you'll get like the Aunt May, remembering Aunt May kind of thing. They're supposed to be Marvel Daredevil team up. I'm sorry, Spider-Man Daredevil team up potentially in that movie. Spider-Man's most likely going to show up in the Daredevil Born Again show. Their team up is huge in the comic books, so that'll be great. There's also some really good rumors about the villains that'll be more like Kingpin and from the series, and like Venom potentially getting into that movie. So I'm excited for that one. That'll be fun. He just signed a deal for, I think, 5 movies with Marvel or Sony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw
Oh,
something
wow.
about a
Okay.
pretty big contract for him, where it was 4 or 5 films regarding involving Spider-Man. So it looks like his
awesome.
character is most likely going to appear in the new Spider-Verse movie as well, in the animated show movie. So that'll be cool. Something I saw last minute that just updated on the website was that Kelsey Grammer apparently really wants to be Beast again. He said he was kind of upset when he stopped being Beast in the X-Men movies. So he basically put it out there. He's like, I really want to be Beast again. I really hope they do that. And if they don't, I'm never going to Disneyland again. Basically was his threat, which I thought was funny. David Harbour apparently is already talking about the Thunderbolts movie. He said he hasn't read the script yet, but he's heard rumors about where it's going to go, and he's very excited about it.
Speaking of David Harbour, really quick, have you guys seen the trailer for Violent Night?
No.
The poster is up in the IMAX theater, though. I haven't seen the trailer.
David Harbour, Santa Claus.
Yeah,
and he is basically the Santa of Vengeance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho.
Yes. Watch that trailer if you haven't watched it yet. Violent Night. It's incredible.
Will do.
All right.
Sure.
I got a couple more here, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah, please go. Sorry.
Aubrey Plaza has been cast in WandaVision's Agatha spinoff, so we're gonna get Aubrey Plaza in Coven of Chaos or whatever that damn thing gets ends up being called. She's super excited about it. Can't wait to see her in that role.
Dude, she's so great.
There's rumors that she might reprise her role from Legion, where she's like the super scary main big bad. So I didn't watch the end of that. So we'll see. I just want to see her running around with Catherine Hahn. That sounds fantastic.
Right.
Let's see. So not really Marvel, but Marvel adjacent. Dave Bautista reacts to Netflix Gears of War announcement with a suit up video.
Yeah.
He's wanted to play, he's wanted to be in this movie for so long that he basically spent all this money on an actual suit and then produced his own video suiting up as a Gears of War character, which they need to do. I mean, really just cast all of the fun, like WWE guys and let's get it going.
Right.
That'd be great. Owen Wilson apparently is going to be in Deadpool 3 as Mobius from the Loki series. That was revealed in a new rumor, and apparently it's a pretty major role. So we'll see how that shakes out. That'd be fun to see him in there. And then the last thing I had here was, what are the next Marvel movies after Black Panther 2? So let's wrap this boy up. We got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in February 2023.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Fuck, really? In May? That's amazing. That's close.
Oh, that's right.
Or should get Adam Warlock in that one too. Oh, that's gonna be great. The Marvels, July 28th in 2023. So that's gonna be Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and yet unannounced Monica Rambeau's character. I think Photon, potentially. So her character from WandaVision, where she has those cool powers at the end of that. Sam Jackson's gonna be back in that too. Then we've got Captain America: New World Order, the first sighting of Han Solo in the MCU, and the first Captain America movie with Sam Wilson, his character as Captain America fully. So that'll be cool to see. And that's May 2024. So now we're pushing out pretty hard. And then we got Thunderbolts, which is going to be July 2024. And then there'll be some kind of big Avengers movie, I think, towards the end of the year. But rewinding it a little bit, we get the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, November 25th.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that, where it's basically Drax and Mantis trying to find Kevin Bacon to make Star-Lord feel better.
Yeah, right.
Which that one-liner elevator pitch is all I need. I am interested. Let's go.
I'm so here for it.
They're on a mission to Earth to kidnap the legendary Kevin Bacon as a gift for Peter Quill. Like, this is not a misprint. Kevin Bacon is excited to be in the movie. So yeah, that's what I got. There's a lot of other stuff happening. But that's all the news that's fit to print for today.
All right. One other thing that I forgot to mention too is that we watched Enola Holmes 2.
Addie watched it without me. I'm so pissed. I haven't seen
bummer.
it yet.
It just makes me want a Henry Cavill Sherlock Holmes movie 10 times more.
That's whatever.
He's got a bigger role in this one. It's more of a they're working the same case from different angles. And they focus it around a true event from history too, which is really neat. But it was really good. It was a great watch. It was a lot of fun. So
nice.
That's all I have to say. Final thoughts on episode 99, guys. Our next meeting is the century mark.
Oh shit!
About fucking time, man.
I know, right?
That's so awesome.
Yeah, some foreign change. So
right.
Yeah,
that'll put us on the 29th. Okay.
I forgot a little bit of extra horror news.
Okay.
Terrifier 2 is apparently in the running for an Oscar.
What?
They put it in for
no.
Yeah. Apparently it was a joke, but the director's like, send it.
Wow.
That's
incredible.
In the hat to be nominated for an Oscar.
Oh awesome. My goodness, that's amazing. That's amazing. This was a great
put out the good vibes for Art the Clown getting an Oscar.
Oh man, please make that happen. Man, the laundromat scene. I love the laundromat scene. Oh, yeah. So good. Okay,
you gotta clean your bloody clown suit somehow.
No, you absolutely do, right? And oh man, that was so great. That little girl too.
The little girl.
Oh. Sorry. Okay,
again,
we'll move on.
When you're cleaning your clown suit, you have to have a friend to
hang
out with while you're sitting in the laundromat.
Yeah. So, well, folks, that's it for Rum Regret episode 99. What are you guys watching these days? What did you guys watch Smile? Let us know if you watched Smile. Let us know what you thought. Did you guys watch Interview with a Vampire? What do you think of the changes to that story so far, and did it work for everything? What did you guys think of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever? Let Nate know, because he has a lot to say on it still. What else?
What should we do for our 100th episode?
Yeah, what should we do for our 100th episode? Yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, let us know. We have some ideas brewing, but obviously, if you guys have ideas, it's the less we have to do. Let us know. We're on the socials. We're on Facebook at the Rum Regret Podcast. We are on Twitter at Rum_Regret. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram. And is that it, Nate? Where else are we?
Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, every other platform of choice, I think.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah. Joe, where can they find you on the socials?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials, or at joechickadee.com.
Nate, where can they find you on the socials?
Yeah, Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all the socials and your gaming platforms of choice.
And you can find me at Crazy Drake on Facebook, Andrew Drake on Twitter. And until the next time, episode 100, we have spoken.
Bald-headed demon. You guys won't get it, but you will. If you know, you know.
Oh, Jeebs.